I was going to share that after we jumped off the call the last time, a couple of us on this call all met up and went out for dinner. So there's a group of us now that are all here in Warsaw, and we've been almost spending every day together. So we
Oh,
visited one of the largest refugee camps today. That was emotional, of course, but I'm very impressed with the operation that they're running here. Um, there were 1,500 people in there. At the height, they had 3,000. It's all cots right next to each other. So everyone sleeps right next to each other. And there are a lot of people, but it was very calm. It's very quiet energy.
oh,
You could see people moving quickly and there was like a hustle about it, but it was very subdued, which was interesting. A lot of pets, also kids and pets, everybody, they were quiet too. So not even the animals were picking up on a nervous energy, which was interesting to observe. And then upstairs, they built everything out for children. It's very colorful. There are language lessons and learning centers. There was a little boy playing piano, and he was teaching his new best friend how to play piano. And yeah, we met with some really incredible people today.
wow. Thank you for sharing that, Kat. I'm fascinated by what you're describing sort of energetically. What was your sort of feeling about that? How it was that it was so calm?
I don't know. We all picked up on it, and none of us could really pinpoint it. It was it was it just felt like everybody was being very courteous of each other and each other's space, even though you're very much it's all one space and everybody was piled on top of each other. But you could just see people are trying to be polite. I was watching little kids going up to the refrigerators to grab their food out, and everybody was only grabbing one thing for themselves. So you could see there's a level of respect there. And then the volunteers that we met were very kind as well. And what I did like is they also have a lot of security there. So there are ambulances parked outside. We saw police presence just to make sure everything's safe. And I think giving refugees support like that is really important. So yeah, they did a great job.
Mm, that's very great to hear. Really inspiring to hear. Okay, hi, you guys. So good to see you. Just starting to see more and more familiar faces, and it just fills my heart with joy. Um, I'm sorry that it started so late. I'm sure a lot of people have dropped off because of it. I'm hoping that Arthur will get some help soon, so he won't have to open up the meetings all the time. He's doing so many incredible things, as you guys know. So, given that we're a smaller group, we can, I think, get a little bit more into sharing more stories. Um, First thing I want to say is just tell you that the last call, I think some of you, perhaps many of you, were on the last call, which was so just wow, deep and rich and uplifting and
Yeah.
devastating and inspiring. And I got off the call and I was so full of all of your stories, so full of this incredible energy and desire to be of service to each other. I didn't know what to do with myself. And later that night, I watched a film, an American film actually, which I really quite liked, called Come On, Come On, which is, about relationships and family and children and dealing with the issues in the world. And I wept all the way through it. And I thought, why am I crying so hard? It was moving, but I suddenly realized I started to see some of your faces, and I realized that it was like joy and sorrow all together. And it was sort of hours later that it started to come out of me, just taking all this in. As I said, I think last time, it's kind of the worst of times and the best of times. Maybe in the worst of times, humans start to rise up, and our strength and our resilience and our creativity and our ability to adapt and deal with crisis and help each other is at an all-time high. So thank you, thank you, thank you for everything that you're doing. It just amazes me and humbles me. I really have a hard time finding words to describe it. So as we usually do, we're just going to go around quick introductions, name, where you are, why you're here, and three words to describe who you are. And they can change every time. Just a quick, simple way of getting to know each other a little bit. And then three words about how you're feeling right now. So I'm Brenda, I'm in Montreal. I'm here to be in service to you. I am the founder and creative director of The Village, which is a human and media platform that has yet to be launched, but we will be launching with our inaugural project called Hearts of Ukraine. It's a storytelling platform. We believe in weaving our human stories together to change the world. And certainly my experience with UkraineNow is pretty inspiring on that level. My three words today, who I am, to describe me is give, grow, love. And my three words to describe how I'm feeling right now is there's a Yiddish word called verklempt, which means kind of overwhelmed. And I'm feeling a little overwhelmed with all with everything that's happening. I'm feeling happy, and I'm also feeling heavy. So how about Tyler?
Oh, it would be me, wouldn't it? Hi everyone. What were the requests other than the three
where
words?
you are?
I'm in the UK. My accent gives me that much away. I'm in the
why
UK.
Are you here?
I, for lack of a better word, joined through Arta, knowing Arta from a previous project we did a couple of years ago to do with the pandemic. I'm here today because I have the time to do so, and I did a lot of the sort of community management stuff in the previous initiative. I'm doing a little less of it this time because I don't have as much free time, but I work in special education and that sort of work, so communication is very fundamental to who I am and where I am. Community building is something I've been doing for about 20 years nearly now, which surprises me sometimes when I think about it. So I really enjoy sometimes hearing other people's stories. You know, I do a lot of the same sort of stuff in Twitter and a few other places. So I'm just here to listen and just to get filled up on some goodness, because being around people trying to do good things is good for my heart and good for my brain, because sometimes the world is really, really not happy, and I feel it very much sometimes. So I need to feel and hear some goodness sometimes too. Three words: talkative, don't show up generally. I have to work really hard to try and filter. It's a strange thing, comes part of my neurodivergence, I think, and a family full of women. And I don't really know what else to say.
Yep.
Well, I'll say it. You are so blessed to be in a family full of women. It makes you a
I'm aware.
very female.
Makes me an unusual guy. It does, but there's some blessings and curses with that.
All right, lovely. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you so much. So good to see you again. Kat.
Yeah, I'm Kat, and I'm currently in Warsaw with now some new friends of mine, Rachel and Asher, and we'll be joined by James here shortly. And through Rachel, actually, I'll let her tell the story about the podcaster because this is really her world. She got us connected, but I've got to say the amount of networking that has happened here in the last couple of days since we've all spoken is really tremendous. I mean, and we're so it's interesting. I was just speaking to one of the girls about this because some of us are, well, we're all actually traveling solo. And as women, we've got to be really careful about sharing too much information about where we're staying and what we're doing. And because we met on a platform where you have genuinely good people in a room that just want to help others, it's created a little bit of a safety net for us. And we're lucky that we managed to connect and we just all clicked immediately. So it's great to have the support. Now we're all going to be parting ways because we're all sort of heading towards different borders. But so far we've done the journey together and it's been great. So I appreciate this platform for helping us find each other. 3 words right now. I'm a little bit tired and I am fiercely determined. And I don't have a word to describe this, but I'm still digesting what I saw today with my own eyes and what I got to take in. And again, Rachel made that happen. So I'm very grateful. But again, I think with every little conversation like this that I have or experience that I have, I learn a little bit more to get a little bit better at what I'm trying to do. So grateful would be the 3rd word then.
Thank you. Wonderful. I've actually got someone going to Poland next week. Are you still going to be there? You will.
Yeah, I'll be at the majority of us will be. Asher definitely will be. Rachel will be here for a little bit longer. I'll be at the border for about a month. And I've joined up with an incredible organization now that really has this locked down on how to do this right. And I'm excited to be partnering with them. But now I know that I can put my skills to good use. And so I'll be around the borders for about a month.
Excellent. Well, if you could, and anybody who's in Poland, if you would put your email addresses in the chat, that would be great. Maybe I can hook you up with my contact going.
I'm happy to give any travel advice, location advice to anybody that wants to come over. I can also put people who are looking for good volunteer groups to partner with. I can put them directly in touch with some because I've formed some really strong relationships with these people now.
Fantastic. Again, okay, great. Email addresses. Wonderful. Thank you. Rebecca, hello. Welcome again.
I just had a fabulous call with Artur last night, and it you know how it just lifts your heart to be involved with people who care. I'll be honest, I mostly work with veterans, and you know, we have the saying 0 cares left to give, and that's the nice way to put it. So I have been burnt out for a couple of years. So I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. I worked in Army suicide prevention for 5 years and burnt out really hard at the end of that, had some really extreme compassion fatigue and, you know, could just barely save myself at that point. So I took about 3 years off, and I have these veteran groups that I normally volunteer with, and Mission Continues, Team Rubicon, and I just had no passion for anything. And my brother and I have this conversation. I'm like, I'm almost 50. I'm like, what is my problem? Like, I have no passion for anything. So then this group, the very first call I sat in on, I was like, passionate.
Okay. Sorry. Could everybody turn off your mute your audio if you're not speaking? Thank you. Sorry, Rebecca.
It might also be, I have some background noise going on here.
Okay.
I'm at my office.
Okay.
And they're a noisy bunch. So
you were saying passionate.
Yeah.
Please repeat. Yeah.
This is the first thing that I've really felt passionate about in a while, and it really helps. So I had reached out to several different groups and tried to volunteer and do these pieces, and I'm able to travel at my own expense. So I offered to go places, and everyone was so unorganized that I was afraid to dedicate myself to a group that couldn't, organize themselves, and I didn't want to get stuck somewhere and they didn't have a plan. And so the very first call we did, and the first time I talked to people at UkraineNow, the organization was amazing. And it really gave me hope for humanity, like for the fact that all these people, came together to do something positive. And so that would be one of my words, is hopeful and also fired up. maybe that's 2 extra words, but I really, I really feel positive about us being able to make some positive change and do some pieces. And I'm already offering more ways that I can get involved, and like, how do we list these things, and how do we, find the volunteers and find the help for Artur, so he's not the only one doing everything. Which he called me last night, and he's in Tijuana picking up a family. I'm like, you're multitasking really well, but there's got to be more people out there that can help with this.
Artur doesn't multitask. Everyone else multitasks. There's a level of multitask I don't really know how to describe what the hell Artur does.
He was doing
five
things at once.
5 things at once on a bad day, 9 on a good day. He's just,
and I would like
mad.
to think, I would like to think I'm good at multitasking, but I want us to be able to find help for him, so he's not having to be the only person that does all of that. So yeah.
Oh, there's lots of other people doing lots of other things. You just can't see all of it. Trust me.
Sure.
I'm aware of. I'm not doing that much, but I'm still also going like, everyone's working too much. I need to work hard to reduce that.
Yeah.
Well, and he put up a job posting this morning. I don't know if you had said so. Anybody with great networks, he put up a job posting for somebody operational to help him 5-6 hours a day.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him if I can post that on LinkedIn and get that pushed out a little further.
Yeah, it's one of the few times that has actually been money offered for a role, because he knows he needs to get someone good who's got time to work with him.
Full time. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Rebecca,
he's near enough full time.
So much. Thank you so much. And I'm so delighted that you're feeling restored. And I want to say again and again and again that what we're doing here is a roadmap for all humans. What we're doing here is transformative, transformational, and it is humans at our best. And we want to send this message out to the world. And that's all in the works. So, Alex, hello, welcome back. So glad to see, or hope to see you. Yay.
Oh, and you could not hear me, of course. I forgot to unmute. So, hello people, I'm Alex. Some of you already know me. I'm a student. I had to flee pretty much from Kiev to Warsaw, not to center, somewhere in the other place where not many volunteers are gathered, but still it's a nice place, and I'm glad to have that. Basically, yeah, about me. I do a lot of stuff. First of all, I study, but this is not my priority right now. My main goal is to, basically work. Right now, I am a designer, first of all, 3D artist, and a developer. Last time I was here, I never got to send any of my email, whatever, to anybody, but I will do that right now. I will not forget this time. So if anybody needs anything, and this is what I say to volunteers who I meet, if you need any design, any development, just reach out to me, and if I can, I will do that. So I will send my email right now. So if you need anything like that, I will try to squeeze that in my schedule and help you with that.
And 3 words to describe you, Alex.
Just like last time, I'm still busy, but other 2 words, I would say appreciative. Is that a word? If it is, then I'm appreciative, because I'm glad to be here. And I'm still dedicated. I had so many lessons today, and then courses. If this meeting, by the way, in fact, if this meeting was on time, then I would not be able to be here. But my courses just ended, and I'm here. And I'm glad to be here now.
We're so delighted to have you here. And probably the youngest member, right? So you're 15, 16, just absolutely.
He's not the youngest member in UkraineNow, though. Right. Genuinely not.
Wow, amazing. Amazing to have you here, Alex. Thank you. Eugene? Nice to meet you. Hello.
Hello, I'm Eugene. I'm from Kiev, and now I am in Kiev. I saw announcement in a group in Telegram, Ukrainian Burners community, and there was announcement about that need help with evacuation of people, and I try to understand how I can be useful and what I can to do to help. That's why I'm here.
Wonderful. And what would you like to do to help? Is it to help with evacuation?
It can be maybe all what we can. I have a minivan. I can drive. I can take people and go with them to the border to help with transportation of goods or another useful help.
Thank you. That's fantastic. And how would you describe yourself, Eugene?
I'm a good boy. I like music, ski, people. I like nature. I like many things that I like.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you. And if you would, why don't you put your email address, your name and email address in the chat? So if anybody here knows of someone who needs a driver, and where are you located?
I'm now in Kiev, in Ukraine, Kiev.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Rachel, welcome
Hi.
back.
Thank you. I'm in a really good mood today. I've had a pretty incredible story today to tell you. So I would say my first word is uplifted, and I'm feeling quite blessed and also very, I guess, reflective, and just reflecting on things. Yeah.
Okay, okay, so you want to hold your story. We'll do your story after. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, great. Great. Thank you, Rachel. Looking forward to it. Tatiana.
Hey all, good to see you again. So I'm Brenda's partner. We are starting the village together, and I'm normally based in California, but I came back to Ukraine after the war. That's where I'm originally from. My family is here. My dad is part of the Ukrainian armed forces. I'm really happy today because he visited us and he brought some flowers. It was a really nice moment, and those flowers were to plant, so very hopeful also for the future. It's really interesting to be in Ukraine. It's definitely like the darkest times that I've experienced in Ukraine. But Brenda once told me to focus on acts of kindness, on the positives, and that's what I've been trying to do these days. And it's really nice because I'm trying to notice normal things. For example, today I walked to get coffee with my classmate, and we were supposed to meet at this cafe, but then there were air raid sirens, so like we couldn't enter it, but we were just like standing there, and it's so interesting. So many people were there near the shopping center, and it's like a mix of like, oh, this is the war, air raid sirens, but then something like normal, people just standing there and chatting, and all of them just want to get coffee or to shop. So I just went on a walk with my friend and like my classmate, and we just like walked in the park, and That was nice. So, you know, just like happy to see the spring and to focus on something, you know, normal.
Thank you, Tatiana. That's beautiful. And, you know, as I've said to you, and I say to all of you, like, to focusing on the positive doesn't mean that the negative doesn't. It doesn't mean that you're ignoring or avoiding the negative. That is part of life, the pain of life. And it's important to be able to acknowledge that and sit with that as well. But then we have all this energy, all this life force, and we can turn it towards something positive, towards building, inspiring, uplifting each other. Asher. Is that Asher? Asher?
Asher said they were just going to be listening today, so
Okay.
they're obviously not feeling to talking, so that's fine. That's the choice anyone can make.
Absolutely. And Asher, I'm so glad you're here with us. Thank you for being here. James. Are you there, James? James Kirk.
Yes, I am. Yeah, sorry, just dealing with mobile controls.
No worries.
Hi, everybody. Yes, I'm in Warsaw also. I arrived late last night and am going on virtually no sleep aside from a couple hours on the plane and a couple hours last night. So I'm grateful to Rachel, especially for you know, we met up today and you know, accomplished some good. You know, I was able to help her a bit. I think, I hope, in the story that she's going to tell, and also grateful for her for putting me in touch with a lot of great people that I've met just in the single day I've been here. Sorry, it seemed that there's a a list of topics we're supposed to cover for.
Okay,
for
so why are you here? So you're
okay. Yeah, so I'm in Warsaw, and I'm in Poland for the next week to week and a half through next Sunday. I'm based in California normally, and yeah, but I've spent a significant amount of time in Central and Eastern Europe. Ukraine is particularly a place I felt very close to since I first went there in 2010, and you know, have you know, like everyone, followed everything, you know, well before now, but particularly now, and am very, I don't know, troubled and moved at the same time, as you were kind of getting at. You know, it's tearing people apart, but bringing people together in a lot of ways as well.
Beautifully said. Yeah. Tearing people apart and bringing them together. Would you give us 3 words to describe yourself, James?
Sure. So, you know, today in particular, as I said, I'm grateful. And more broadly, though I'm feeling particularly justified about it now, just generally open, I think, to new experiences and seeing what, you know, where things take me. I had only the vaguest of plans when I mean, certainly when I decided to come here, and even upon arriving, and then just through the people I've met already, they've helped solidify what I can do and what I can bring and offer to those people that are coming to Poland from Ukraine. And I need a third. I guess just often goes along with that. Versatile. Just willing to, or maybe even non-humble, just willing to give anything a try, and hoping that through some combination of things can, you know, make something of my efforts.
Thank you, James. Lovely. Okay, you guys, so we have a few stories, it seems. The story topic would be acts of kindness. So it can be from today, yesterday, long ago, acts of kindness. Rachel, do you feel like taking a crack? Sounds like something good.
I don't know if it's I don't know how it falls into that topic, but I'd say it's an act of
it's your act of kindness, Rachel. You did it.
Yes, you're being far, far too humble, and you don't need to be. You did great work.
So yeah, I come from Brighton in the UK, and after I arrived here, I found out by some weird coincidence that somebody who works for Brighton City Council is currently also in Poland with, we have these bright yellow buses in Brighton that are powered by biofuel. They're like this eco-friendly thing. They're called the Big Lemon. They smell of pancakes. And somebody from the council who also runs the charity that has these buses has driven all the way over here in one, and was offering seats for Ukrainians who've already got their visa to travel back to the UK. Because previously lots of Ukrainians were relying on the Wizz Air free plane tickets, but they've stopped now. And I think there's a lot of people who know that there is the opportunity to travel free by train across Europe, but that involves like changing trains in unfamiliar cities. There's issues with people having pets and being able to get them. So I think it's been, I've heard lots of stories about people being very daunted by the visa process in the first place, the long wait, knowing where to stay, while they're waiting for their visa, knowing how they're going to then travel to the UK. So yeah, when I heard about this bus and these spaces on the bus, I was really excited, and I did a lot of I wanted to make sure, because I hadn't met this man before, that he was who he said he was, that he, was a safe person for people to travel with, and I got him to send me his police clearance and everything. Turns out he used to be a governor in the school I work in. And then this gets weirder, right? So then I've been liaising with him by WhatsApp and trying to spread the word wherever I go that there are seats on this bus and it's going here. And so a couple of days ago, I left a phone number and some contact details with the help desk in Warsaw Station. And I'd been messaging him, and it seemed like, although a few people had asked and I'd posted messages on Facebook, it seemed like maybe we weren't filling these seats. And then late, I think it was last night, I suddenly found that lots of messages had gone to my spam folder. And I had a real panic that I had missed these messages, and maybe this was now too late for these people to get on this bus and everything. But I quickly forwarded them all, and I think some of those people are booked on the bus. And then today I went back to Warsaw Station and spoke to a different person at the desk, and it seemed like they didn't have the piece of paper that they wrote my number down on before. And I just thought, what, maybe I should put up a poster by the transport stand. And so James, who I've only just met, very kindly translated that poster into Russian, and we put that up. And the guy at the desk said, I think you're really unlikely to get anybody in the next 24 hours before this coach leaves who's got their visa, who's ready to travel. 15 minutes later, I'm still standing having a drink or something, and I get called back to the desk, and there's a family of 3 fresh off a bus from Ukraine asking how they get to the UK. So I phoned up their sponsor, and she was in tears. Yeah.
Bravo.
And then there's another family who are hoping to get the bus. They've had a few more complications. They have sorry, my battery's running really low. I hope I'm not going to cut out. Let me just try and find a plug. They've had a few more problems. They have a dog, and the dog's not very well, and they've had to get the dog vaccinated, and they're waiting for quarantine rules and things. But very much hoping that they can get at least as far as France on this bus. And then I've been in communication with a friend in France who's trying to find out from vets and things locally what the setup is in France regarding pets and vaccinations and things. So sorry, I'm just trying to plug this in. I'm not sure if that's going to work or not. Yeah, I'm going to probably cut off quite soon. but yeah, so it's still ongoing and I still keep checking my phone. There's still 2 more seats left. So I'm really praying that we're going to get another couple of people on there. Gave out the number at the reception centre today. But really feeling, yeah, inspired by that. And also on a personal note, I know Kat and James have just sort of thanked me, but you know, I've had like a bit of a turbulent 24 hours, and so it's been really nice to meet people here in country and feel supported. So I'm grateful to them as well.
Thank you. Beautiful. I don't know about you guys, but like so much is just racing through my mind and my heart listening to this story. Because we're such a small group today, please feel free if you have any comments or questions. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
I will just throw in, it was great to be there to experience that, even though I didn't speak directly to the family, just being a part of, even a small part of, you know, helping to translate the sign that they happened to see and just happened to arrive within just a few minutes of when we put it up, was, yeah, very incredible. Such great timing, you know, just kismet, I guess.
Yes. Welcome, Tanya. Hello, welcome you. So nice to have you here. Would you like to say a few words, where you are, why you're here, and maybe 3 words to describe yourself?
Okay, so first I have to say my English is very bad. It's a long time since school. I'm living in Germany, in Dresden, so next to the Polish border. And I'm a vet. And a second job for me is politician in a government here, in the city government. So I'm working for the decisions about the Ukrainian refugees here in the city. And we had our meeting with the government 2 days before. And the first weekend of the war, I was in the Ukraine. I was helping with animal rescue to keep out animals in Medica. It is a small village next to the Ukrainian border. And we drive there to Lviv. And it's nearly 80 kilometers far from the border. And we kept out animals, bring them food and some other things for helping. And it was a hard weekend. I drive there from Friday to Monday, and I get the information that I can take care with them on Friday on 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and at 11 o'clock in the afternoon, or till just before midnight, we start here in Germany and drive there. And since Monday to midday, I had just 3 hours sleep because we had no sleeping place. We sleep in our cars. It was very cold. At the moment, the meeting point at Medica, it is much more comfortable. They have container there and can sleep there. It was with, it calls Centauros for Ukraine. And at the moment, they drive every day there to keep out animals. Sometimes a little bit horrible what they find. So at the moment, I'm a part of the Dresden Zoo here because of my politicians and to make decisions there. And so I see and I have a view to the animal refugees from the zoo in Ukraine. It's a little bit hard there. Some zoos are very dangerous at the moment. They have a small zoo in the northern part of Kiev called 12 Months. And it was on the very dangerous area there. They called 3 weeks about help because there was a lot of shooting there and some animals died there. And at the moment, the zoo is it's in a normal way to
Oof. Is she frozen for you guys? Right.
Yeah. She just.
Wow. Okay. I just was taking in shooting at a zoo, the image of that. Okay, so hopefully she'll come back.
I don't know if it's one of the zoos that she's working with, but just to sort of share a positive zoo story, I saw on Facebook an amazing photograph of and a post by a man who said, I'm just airlifting a lion onto the back of a minibus, as you do right now. And they managed to evacuate a lion in its cage on the back of a minibus.
Okay, so technical problems. Yeah, and for me, yeah, what the 3 words, sometimes I'm a little bit chaotic and too much work, but sometimes some good ideas.
Ja, und ihr Englisch ist absolut perfekt.
Oh no.
Also, das ist nicht, doch, hört sich super an. Sehr,
Ja,
sehr gut.
Es ist lange her. Es ist
Ich muss mein Deutsch auch üben. Also, ist sehr nett, dich zu treffen.
Okay.
It is very good. It's perfect. There are native speakers with worse English.
Agree. Thank you so much, Tanya, and for everything that you do. It's wonderful to have you here with us. Thank you. Okay, so back to our theme of acts of kindness. I need to hear a few more stories. Acts of kindness. Acts of kindness could be momentary. You know, I was quickly thinking normally I would bring one, I would have one in my mind before we got here. And I didn't. We were expecting a huge crowd and anyways, whatever happened. So I thought everybody else will speak. But I will tell you one moment that pops into my mind, and that happened yesterday. I had some dental surgery a couple of weeks ago, and I had to go for a follow-up. And as I walked into the office and I was being ushered into the room, my surgeon's assistant was there, and just an absolutely lovely woman. And she said, "Brenda, so great to see you." And she reached over and she touched my forearm and gave it a little squeeze. Now that may not sound like a big deal, but I can tell you that if she had just said, "Brenda, how are you?" that would have been nice enough because there was warmth in her voice, and she and I have a really nice connection. But when she touched me, and maybe it's like all the isolation through COVID, that simple human touch just filled me. And I think actually one of the things that COVID has done is made many of us realize how, the impact of our being in real life together, being able to reach out and touch each other. And that simple touch, I tell you, when you're with people, if you want to communicate with them, especially if you don't speak the same language, just reach over to their forearm and just give a little squeeze. You'll be amazed at how good that would make them feel, and you too, because you're connecting with them. So simple.
Yeah, I can only echo that point. As someone who works sometimes with children who don't communicate very well, there is something to be said with just like human positive touch, a hug or holding a hand, or just even human connections. Like, we forget how much can be communicated with so little, but when it's done in the right way, I think it's really important. It's really undervalued as as a communication tool, especially during a pandemic when the world became very fearful of everyone and everything. And I got that feeling too. Like I went from being like very sociable and very gregarious to like groups of people made me uncomfortable. And that's like the first time I've ever had that feeling where I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, I could be in a crowd and be fine. And I could be in a supermarket with 10 people and like, I don't enjoy this feeling right now, which is a strange dynamic to be in. But yeah, human touch and human connection, I think it's an undervalued and underrepresented skill. And to do it well, it sounds like she did have just a little subtlety to it, that there is really like, there's some emotional intelligence in using something like that that not everyone has. And it sounds like you had a really nice little moment, and that's a good thing.
I think there's a transference of energy that happens, which I love in that moment. So oddly enough, we all just went our separate ways a minute ago to all get back to our places to jump on the Zoom. And I was walking back to my apartment with one of the people we were with, and there was a gentleman sitting on the ground. And I don't know what happened to him, but he must have been in a very horrific accident, and he was missing several limbs, and he was missing his eyes, and he had quite a bad scar down the side of his head. So I said, hold on, I'd like to. He had a little cup in front of him for money, so he obviously can't see me. So when I placed the money into his cup just now, I grabbed his forearm exactly how you said, just to communicate that I'm there and I'm putting something in there. And I've not literally, but I emotionally felt him in that moment. And I very much believe in that transference of energy. It doesn't have to be verbal, and it doesn't have to be, you don't have to see it, but you can just feel it. So don't forget to do that as you move through the world.
Thanks for that, Kat. And indeed, as you said that you reached over and touched him, I felt a shiver go through me. So there, it keeps growing. And another thing is that we can do it for ourselves as well, right? We can touch ourselves, we can hold ourselves if there's nobody there to do it. And that's powerful in its own right. Does anybody else have a story? Acts of kindness.
I don't directly have a story, but I have a tip for people who are in Warsaw right now, because one of the people who live here told me this, and I find it somewhat not usual. It's a rule about crossing the road, that if you cross the road using a mobile phone or any device in Poland overall, you'll be charged some fee, and it's just going to be more problems. If something happens, if a car like stops really fast, abruptly, and then bumps into some other car, you're going to be charged the fee for that. So don't do that. It's not a thing in Ukraine, and it was a news for me. So if anybody is in Warsaw, this is a rule in Poland. Just be aware.
I'm so glad you said that.
I'm a criminal.
I've been doing that all day, and James has been stopping me from getting run over.
I've just been committing criminal offenses all day. I've just realized. Thanks for sharing, Alex. You saved us from a ticket, I'm sure.
You know, when you're waiting at a crossing and everybody waits at the crossing for the green man, even when there's not a car in sight, and I'm British and I just cross, and everybody looks at me like I've done something terrible. Is that against the law as well?
Yes, I read it
some
in the
countries
blog,
it is,
so they take it very seriously here. Wow. It's like when I read things not to do in Poland and things to do in Poland, it did say never cross the road without the green man. But Alex, I was not aware of the cell phone rule, and I appreciate you sharing that. Thank you. You've just taught me something very important.
And that's an act of kindness in its own right, just to share that little gem. So, okay, two things to end with. One question would be, acts of kindness towards self. Because as you guys are on this incredible ride of giving, what can you give to yourself? How can you be kind to yourself in the smallest or biggest of ways?
So
I'll start. Oh, okay.
Should I go? I
Sure.
didn't.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I was going to start to kick it off. Yes, go.
Okay. So I think it's, showing yourself grace and forgiveness. You can't be perfect. You can't do everything. I spoke with several people today who are in Poland, and there was concern about coming here, that that some aspect of it is selfish, or you're taking a spot away from someone who maybe needs it, or taking food away from someone who maybe needs it, and that's not what any of us are attempting to do. And I think, as the stories we've heard today show, it's from the small to the big, there are a lot of there is a lot that we are giving to the people that we encounter here, whether they're coming from Ukraine, whether they're Polish or coming from the West. So, be kind to yourself and don't judge yourself too harshly, because we're all doing the best we can, and not everybody's going to be perfect all the time.
Great advice. Thank you, James. Who else? Kindness to ourselves.
Just try. Just do yourself a favor and try. And it doesn't really matter what it is. It doesn't matter how badly you butcher the Polish language, but get out your cheat sheet and just try and forgive yourself. Because what happens when you try is people see that in you and they appreciate it, and they will be so much more kind to you in return. So you can be kind to yourself by being kind to others and respecting their culture and their language, and being aware that you're stepping into somebody else's space. And I think that you do yourself kindness in that way, because you'll have it returned.
I was going to say, Kat, I appreciated that about you today, throwing out, even just little bits of Polish with people. I saw that it was appreciated. I saw you flag down our waitress as we left the restaurant to just say do widzenia or whatever. And
Do widzenia. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was great. Yeah, just small kindnesses.
It's definitely something that I've always taken whenever I've gone somewhere. The first thing I'll learn is like, please, thank yous, like the manners of their culture and their language. It's like the first place I really started doing it was in Turkey, because I've been a few times, and the smile on someone's face when you try and you've come to them rather than assuming that they should just come to you. There is something that is like, you're not just communicating the words. You're like, I care about you, your culture, I know I'm in your world, and I respect the fact that I'm going to try. I might not get it all right, and that's fine. But yeah, trying and showing willing is definitely like a quality that's, I think, received well with the world over. And they might laugh and they might smirk, or you might butcher it. They might change to a language. They might speak English and switch to English to make your life easier. But the fact that you tried is a good start, I think, and it's communicating words without words, in the sense that you are communicating that I care and I'm trying, and I'm not just going to shout at you in English and assume you should fucking bend to me, because that is an arrogance that's not a quality you should really take to the world and force people to bend.
And it's really everywhere you go, right? People say that about the French a lot. So I hear the sentiment, and I don't know if this is just repeated in America, but people are like, the French are rude. I'm like, the French have been some of the nicest people to me. If you walk up and you butcher French and you just try, they look at you in the most endearing way and they will help you. They always switch to English, always. And sometimes I insist they stay in either French or German and whatever, just so I can learn a little bit more. But it's happened here too. I cannot speak Polish. I'm horrible, but I just try, and it makes them smile. And, I'm sure they think I'm hilarious, and who knows what I'm really saying. I'm sure I've made some propositions along the way without meaning to, but it's gone over great, guys. Yeah.
I come from a city that I live in a province in Canada, Quebec, it's called, and it's a French language province. And in the city of Montreal, where I live, which is a French city, there's, notoriously, historically, and currently, there's always talk about the two solitudes and we can't get along. And really, in my experience, I've lived here my whole life. I do speak French fluently, but all I have to do, I'm sure I have an accent when I speak in French, is say one word in French. I have never in my life had trouble. And I think, Tyler, you said it. It's like, there's an arrogance if you're in a French city, and there's, it's like, if we can get past ourselves and make that attempt, like Kat in Polish, it's charming. If you see people do it to you, speaking in your mother tongue, it completely not only charms, it opens the heart. And that's the whole idea, is the heart opening.
And you speaking of French reminded me the last time I was in Paris, I was with my mom and my stepdad, and I only speak high school French that I've still held on to after all these years. But despite the reputation of Parisians as being anti-tourist and anti-Anglo in particular, just a few words of French or translating the orders for my mom and my stepdad got a lot of kindness from the the boulangerie people there and everything. I was just experienced a lot of kindness as a result of just being able to translate different types of pastries and all of that.
Exactly. And you said boulangerie really well too.
Merci beaucoup.
So you guys, did you want to say something, Eugene? Yes.
Is there somebody who knows Ukrainian or Russian maybe?
James.
Я только говорю по-русски, не по-украински, к сожалению.
О, это хорошо, а то иногда надо мне чуть-чуть переводить.
Спасибо большое.
Oh, well, and Alex, of course, native.
Yeah, I'm from Ukraine, I'm native speaker. So, я можу перекладати тобі. Я взагалі можу перекладати в реальному часі, тому можу звертатися.
Дуже приємно.
Привет, привет.
Oh yes, and Asher is speaks multiple languages, I think, Asher, right? And you're in Warsaw, so if anybody needs a translator. Okay, you guys, well, thank you for this lovely time spent together. What can I say? Love is my thing, and I love you all. I'm so impressed and inspired by you all. You fill my heart. I can't wait to see you again. As far as I know, we're going to do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, either at 11 or 11:30 Eastern time. And you'll hear from Arthur. Hopefully he will get somebody soon to help him so we can start our meetings on time and he'll have one less thing to worry about. I encourage you to go out there and poach stories of acts of kindness, moments of beauty, and beauty comes in so many different forms, and bring them to us because they help to inspire us and keep us uplifted and strong.
Can I just share one last little, because you mentioned moments of beauty.
Of course.
In the refugee reception centre that we went to today, upstairs there's an area that's been laid out for children with toys and sports equipment, and there's a piano there. I don't know if it's normally in the expo centre or whether it's been put there specially, but there was a boy, a Ukrainian boy, playing the piano beautifully by ear, completely self-taught, and he was just sat there. And it was like he was playing some of those songs for the first time. He just had a song in his head that he wanted to play, and he was just playing them. And I don't know if he was autistic or something, but it was incredible and really, really beautiful.
And he was teaching his new friend how to play. So he made a new best friend there. I asked if they were brothers or if they're friends. They said that they're now friends. And I had James actually translate for me and ask him if it would be okay for me to shoot a video of him playing, to get his permission first, to which he said yes, and he played for me. And but through it, he was teaching his new friend, and they were so kind to each other and like gentle with each other. It was really sweet to watch. So yeah, he was bringing a little bit of the light and music into the room, and it was absolutely beautiful. Thanks for
music communicates
that,
something
Rachel.
beyond, and yeah, I'm a big proponent of music communicating, and the fact that children are for me some of the best communicators with the newness of it. Like the fear of newness is so much lower when they're littler, and that's a quality I think more of the world needs to adopt and not drop as they become adults. It's one of my favorite things about someone new coming into school, and I'm just like, they might be scared, they might be nervous, but there's plenty of good kids who come forward and just try and bring people in, and that's I think a quality that we all could do with a little bit more in his life.
Thank you for that, you guys. And there was a cello in the middle of Kiev, right? There was a viral video that was going around, a cellist playing. I think it was a cellist. Yeah, beautiful, just beautiful. And as you spoke, Rachel, when you started to tell the story, it really came alive in my mind. I really saw it as you were speaking. Oh, powerful stuff, beautiful stuff. Have a great afternoon, evening, day, night, weekend. Collect those stories, stay safe, be well, and thank you for everything that you're doing. I will see you soon.
Thank you.
Likewise, thank you.
Bye-bye.